Hi guys, this is Mike L from the Comic Book Syndicate. We're here with G.I. Jolie and we just saw Captain America Civil War. Let me tell you, it's amazing to see a movie that actually has a coherent plot with logical motivation and an exciting climax, something we haven't seen from DC in a couple of years. Anyway, it wasn't perfect, it wasn't a masterpiece, but I do recommend it. Jolie, what do you think?
I am whelmed. And I was supposed to give like a 30-second review, but I think I'm safe. It's safe to say that I am not overwhelmed or underwhelmed. I'm just merely whelmed.
I had a wonderful time. I liked it. I thought the movie did a good job of juggling X amount of characters with different ideals and different motivations. All in all, I definitely had a great time. Better than Batman vs. Superman.
Is the plot compelling to you?
Yeah, it was. I found myself on the side of Stark, oddly enough.
Really?
Yeah, and not so much in his politics and this and that, but I think it's because Cap was so cold. And Iron Man felt like he was the one who was hurt. And it's like Cap's your best friend, but Iron Man's not Cap's best friend. And that's how it came through, because Bucky's his best buddy. And that sort of realization and him feeling so much more hurt. And I'm like, look at him, I almost want to give him a hug. And so I was with Stark the whole time.
Were you like rooting for one side or the other? Like, whose side are you on,
Oh,
Brent?
that's a good question. Yeah, I would have to say I'm on Captain America's side because I feel a little more anti-establishment, and I feel like Tony Stark kind of was going with the establishment. So I identified with Captain America, which is also interesting because he is the patriot, he is the Boy Scout, and he was going against the grain. And Tony Stark, who is usually known for being the badass, the playboy, he was more or less falling in line. Interesting reversal of roles.
So if you've read the Civil War comic book, this actually has almost nothing to do with the comic other than the fact that Captain America and Iron Man are on two opposite sides of the argument. The points are well explained. I don't think that they're 100% deep or 100% logical, but I think that Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. are good enough actors that they believe their side. And so when they're arguing in the movie, it at least feels like two people with two logical opposing points of view really disagree with each other. And it's painful to see them fight physically and verbally. What do you think?
I think it speaks to me. The characters themselves, it really didn't get me in the feels when they fought each other. But the idea that we really take superhero films very seriously and watching those characters fight each other, what that kind of speaks to in our society. It's like now, like, we love these characters so much that we allow ourselves to have these feelings about these characters when they're just like these fantastic make-believe characters.
I could see where both of them came from. Particularly with Iron Man getting guilt tripped in the beginning. And also he kind of mentions off the cusp too, I think once or twice, about Pepper and how a lot of what's going on is actually a result of him wanting to be with her. And so he's trying to take steps to more or less regulate the Avengers in a way to facilitate his relationship or fix his relationship with Pepper. So that didn't fall on deaf ears. I totally understood that and why he would be motivated to go through with that. And then you also see Steven's side as well. You see Captain America's side as it relates to, first of all, wanting to defend his buddy. There's a lot of kinship between him and the Winter Soldier in this movie that I think a lot of people maybe wouldn't have picked up on, but it is a very big theme of the movie. So yeah, I think you can kind of see both sides of it and where they're coming from.
The Christopher Nolan Batman movies, every time they're done, I feel like catharsis, but also fatigue, and like I'm like tired, I need to take a nap. When I watch a Marvel movie, it almost feels like, oh, well, now I just can't wait for the next one. It almost feels incomplete. Like we were saying earlier, it's almost like an episode of a TV show.
And I think it was during the big fight where we were bringing in every character we could think of and Spider-Mans and stuff, and it just felt like, oh, this is the season finale.
Yeah.
Like this, it felt like, and it's kind of why I have Marvel fatigue. It's a TV show. It's a TV show that has long episodes every once in a while.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good thing. I think this is the third Captain America, and as everyone says, it's an Avengers film. And so a lot of little pieces felt like we're still in the Iron Man world. It just felt like I don't need this perfect plot or self-contained plot. Everything's like, yeah, this is episode 35. Hopefully you watch the rest of it because this is its own, thing.
And you pointed out that in all those fight scenes, when everyone was punching each other, no one hurt Scarlet Witch. Why is that?
I did notice, I did point that out to everybody. I'm like, why is nobody kicking her or punching her? And I think it was you, or maybe
It was me.
It was you or G.I. Jolie that brought up that they laid it down in the film earlier that everybody is scared of Scarlet Witch.
Oh, that was Jolie. I just said she was really hot. No one wants to punch her face because it's so pretty. That was me.
That was you, yeah.
And so it felt like, they went, ooh, let's do Civil War. Ooh, these guys fight. And we know how it ends, a big cool fight. But then when they tried to get there, they just didn't quite find it. Sure. And so they kind of just went, oh, well, they have to fight now. But it didn't really feel, they all feel too smart for that to be how it happened. It doesn't, they don't all hug in the end. It's a pretty depressing kind of ending with him smashing his chest. Like, it's not. My big worry as this progressed was, I haven't seen Batman vs Superman, but I know it ends with, oh, we're buddies, let's fight a big monster. And I thought that when our villain showed up, we were going to fight him and be friends. And we didn't. He made him hate each other more, and that's awesome. And yeah.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing. We haven't quite hit the level of, Shakespearean or, Greek tragedy just yet with these superhero movies, but at least we're getting there. We're exploring, okay, so what if these superheroes were real and they really did, cause the death of innocent people? What would happen, and how would the people feel about it?
Yeah, and I think in history, X-Men has made me feel more feelings for that kind of plot-driven story than this movie has. But I don't know, when you see or when you allow yourself to feel that emotion, I kind of get ejected from the story, and it's like, oh God, this is make-believe, and I need to settle down.
I just care because this is Tony Stark and Steve Rogers, and they're fighting, and when they fight, it hurts me because they're really friends, and we've lived with them through these, half dozen or dozen movies. Don't get me wrong, I don't buy into the whole Marvel Studios. I don't think they're making masterpieces, but in this movie, I felt like when they were fighting, it hurt me. It was like watching the Beatles break up. The Avengers, they're not friends.
Here's the thing: the strongest feelings between two characters were probably Iron Man and Captain America. But when you saw scenes of Black Widow fighting the Black Panther, there was thrill, yes, but there was never any danger. You knew they weren't going to kill each other. It was never, ever going to come down to that.
But when Steve Rogers pulled up his shield and he ripped off Iron Man's mask, he was about to
No, hold on. Okay, but that's what I was saying. That's what I was saying. The relationship between these two, it was illustrated the best only with those two.
Did you feel the same type of sadness that I did when you saw at the end when they were all separated and not buddies anymore?
Yes. And I want to watch the other one, not because I want to see what happens next, because they're going to be friends again, right?
I hope so.
Picnic. Look at this. They're in a nice field there. They're going to hang out.
I really hope so, because it really got me down.
Me too.
Did you feel the pain that I did when you saw them fight, and did your feelings get hurt when they were fighting each other and they were hurting each other?
Totally. I saw that. I also felt a little bit of pain when Don Cheadle fell 500 feet out of the air. I could feel those heartstrings being tugged when, especially that ending fight with Captain America, Iron Man.
Don't bring it up.
And Bucky.
You know what? And as you say those points, I agree with all of them. I don't think they were fully developed. I think they were 80% there, but that's still more development than Batman versus Superman. But we're not going to fight because... Why did you say that name? Martha! Would you say it was better or worse than... Why did you say Martha? Martha, why did you say that? Why?
See, I have self-respect, and so I haven't seen it. Because
I choose Ben Affleck.
Which is a better...
Stop it.
Movie.
Never going to betray him.
What's a better movie?
What's a better movie? Obviously this one.
This movie is definitely better.
What did you think about the new superhero Black Panther?
Oh, I liked him. From the minute he stepped onto the screen, I noticed how endearing and likable he was. Just his persona and his aura that he gave off, he was very, very alluring and exciting to look at.
He has a pretty face. He's a pretty face.
Well, but even just the way he moves and his body language, it was I totally understood all the hype about him.
I get you.
I thought it was really good. I am stoked to see his movie. I think he's really good, and I'm hoping they can avoid origin stories because we've seen them already. So I want to jump in right into the Black Panther being the Black Panther and not flash back and deal with how he got his ring or however that works.
His power rank. I gotta warn you, Sean. I got a feeling we're gonna see an origin story. Okay.
God damn it.
What do you think about Black Panther?
He's wonderful. They had the king of Wakanda as an older man, and I was like, wait,
T'Chaka.
did you have to do that?
Mhm.
Anyway, wait, so both of their names are T'Chaka?
No, his name's T'Challa. This is a very important character to history. I mean, this was during a time when comic book companies were scared to publish black characters because they were afraid that the South, like the readers in the South, just like in 2016, they wouldn't want to buy the comics, and they went ahead and did it anyway. So I mean, I gotta give you this movie credit because, you know, these movies by the Russo brothers are really like taking live action superheroes to a slightly higher level. Where look, me and Shantai, we love the Nolan Batman movies, but we mock how stupid Christian Bale looks in that goddamn Batman costume.
Every time Batman shows up, I go, "The fuck is Batman doing here? This doesn't make any sense. There's no Batman in this movie."
He's like a cosplayer. The third Spidey live action version. What do you think?
I liked him.
Really?
Yeah, I was sold even as a kid. He was young, which I liked. He looked like a high school kid. Although I thought he was going to a dorm at first, so I thought he was in university. Then I realized it was his apartment. But I liked him a lot, and I liked him as Spider-Man. I liked his lines, liked his dialogue.
The actor, I heard so much hype about him. I'm sorry, I didn't like this guy.
Peter Parker is great. He's wonderful. I don't know about the Spider-Man that they have. During the fights, he was very bendish dialogue, and I hate that.
I don't know if I could watch a 2-hour movie with this Poindexter in it.
It's a good point. We'll see, right? Because Spider-Man will return.
So, and this was him just really stoked to be around superheroes. So he was just like, "Oh man, your wings are made of this," and he's a scientist, so he's talking about what it's actually built of, and I also liked how powerful he was, because a lot of your like Ant-Man and people, they're clearly your side characters, so they're getting their ass kicked. But this is gonna be Spider-Man, so he's kicking ass as much as your Iron Mans and everything. And I thought he was fun, and I thought they did him really well. Costume looked good. I was totally. I want to see the Spider-Man movie.
Tobey Maguire is still my favorite, but I do like Tom Holland. I think he is quite young. His jokes do fall flat, but he has that whimsical, nerdy persona about him still that kind of bled through. Not as much as Tobey Maguire, because he was definitely that adorable kind of quality I think Spider-Man is known for, but this guy wasn't bad.
I didn't like the way he acted, and when he was Spider-Man, his jokes were not funny. They were not delivered funny. Like,
Yeah, but here's the thing: is that like this embodiment of Spider-Man is exactly what I think of Spider-Man all the time, which is not very much.
yeah, but okay, Spider-Man's the most popular superhero in like North America. Clearly, there's something about him they're doing right. This is not it. This guy is not the right guy. It's sad to say because I know we're stuck with him for probably 3 more movies, but this guy, unless they hire genius writers to write his dialogue.
Well, that's the thing. I also don't feel like we saw enough of him. We saw one scene of him where they introduce him in his apartment with Aunt May in Queens, and then the rest of him was some CGI bullshit.
Is he better than Tobey Maguire?
He's different than Toby. Toby had his charm, and Toby suited those movies, or at least the first one.
And the second one.
I haven't seen the second one in a long time.
Third one's really good, even though people hate it.
This is interview's over.
Especially the scene. Especially the scene where he's dancing and then he punches his girlfriend in the face. That's my favorite part.